If you're in the market for a battery electric vehicle, the Tesla Model 3 is an excellent choice. Hi, this is Joe from Scarff Ford, and today we're talking about this 2021 Tesla Model 3 Long Range All-Wheel Drive. Well, if you've been following the news lately, the Tesla Hate Brigade is in full force. It's quite amazing how the tables have turned. A company that's mission statement to transform the world to clean and sustainable energy and create electric vehicles and electric infrastructure, they are hated very much right now by certain people, not everybody. So it's a little bit crazy in my perspective, but that's just my personal opinion. But maybe you're bucking the trend and you're considering buying a pre-owned Tesla for your next vehicle. Well, the Tesla Model 3 is a great place to start. So kidding aside, I've been driving a Tesla Model 3 for 2.5 years. I commute in it every day. There aren't people giving me the middle finger. There aren't people vandalizing my car. Maybe the caveat's like a Cybertruck, which is definitely attention getting. It's almost like wearing a MAGA hat, but Model 3s, Model Ys, Model S's and X's, they're all over the place. I mean, you throw a rock on the highway, you're going to hit a Tesla. So obviously, I think some of the fear of Tesla going out of business or these people trying to take down the Teslas, I think it's overblown, and I think it's going to blow over. I think people are going to get bored of it and move on to something else. I've seen that happen over and over again. When Elon bought Twitter, same thing. There was a whole outcry. Then, people got bored of it and they moved on, and people kept on buying Teslas. So aside from that, let's talk about this specific 2021 Model 3 Long Range All-Wheel Drive. An amazing all-electric vehicle. I think it's one of the best out there. I've been driving a Tesla Model 3 for the last couple of years. I absolutely love it. And mine's an older one. Mine's a 2019. This is a 2021. And aside from its major refresh in the 2024 model year, we saw some of the biggest improvements, the biggest updates on the Model 3 for the 2021 model year, which this one is since its first inception in 2017 when the Model 3 first came out. And we'll go over it. The stuff that you don't see that they added to the Tesla Model 3 for 2021 is a heat pump. Tesla has this amazing octo valve heat pump, and it greatly improves the efficiency of the vehicle in cold and hot weather, specifically in very cold weather when it goes below freezing. With a gas car, you can draw heat from the engine running. The engine running, heat is a byproduct, so you can capture that and use it to heat the vehicle. Not the case of a battery electric vehicle, so you do need to take energy from the battery to heat the vehicle in cold weather and also to heat the battery. Yes, part of the thermal management, and Tesla has advanced thermal management for their batteries, is you do need to heat it up for the car to properly function and for it to efficiently charge or supercharge. But that heat pump, like having a heat pump in your house, it makes it much more efficient heating and cooling the vehicle. And they added that for 2021, so we saw a pretty big range boost for the 2021 model year. When fully charged, the fully charged range is about 350 miles. Pretty amazing for a battery electric vehicle. And this is a dual motor, long range all-wheel drive, so it has a motor in the front, motor in the back, making it all-wheel drive, also making it really quick. That's like having two engines. 0 to 60 is a little over 4 seconds. It's a sports car fast. This thing's really fun to drive. It's not a performance Model 3, but even the regular long-range all-wheel drive Model 3 is very fast in its own right. So this is a nice color combination on the gray exterior of this nice premium white interior. When you get the long range versus the standard range Model 3, you also get a better stereo system with a subwoofer. I have a standard range Model 3 and I love music, and I kind of almost cringe every time I get in a Model 3 with a better audio system, because having the subwoofer is that much better. And they also activate these door speakers. So Tesla's kind of funny. It's cheaper for them rather than to not add the speakers. My Model 3 has speakers here, but they're not connected. So that's the way of that's what creates a premium sound system in the long range Model 3. So on this one, the speakers are actually connected, not the case in the standard range, and that also adds to the audio quality on top of having that subwoofer. We also saw a redesigned center console for the 2021 model year, much better. You have this nice wireless charging pad for this phone. lots of storage. You have lighted storage in there, lighted storage in here. Storage abounds in the Model 3. It has a lot of space. It's a compact sedan, but it's very spacious, very comfortable. I am so comfortable in this vehicle, and in my Model 3 too. You have these big glass roof panels to allow lots of natural ambient light inside. When it does get hot outside and bright out, you can get inserts. You can buy them from Tesla, you can buy them from Amazon that fold. You can store them in the vehicle, then they unfold, and then you can pop them in place to help mitigate, the heat beating down from the sun. So we noticed that the Model 3 does not have a lot of buttons and knobs and things like that. The majority of the functionality is in this screen. It's like a smartphone on wheels. Remember in the olden days when we had the Moto Razors and the Nokia phones with buttons on them, or the Blackberries? Well, this is the future. This is the future of automotive. And people say, well, I don't like it. I like having hard buttons and knobs that I can press. I like the feel of it. Well, guess what? When you have those hard buttons and knobs, they're there forever. This screen is infinitely reconfigurable. Tesla is constantly pushing out over-the-air updates. Look at, there's one right now. Tesla is constantly updating their vehicles, improving it, adding features, adding functionality, making it safer. And since Tesla's a vertically integrated company and they make the majority of their parts, they have far more control over their supply chain than a lot of other companies. They're able to update things fast, and the whole vehicles have a better synergy about them than other vehicles. A lot of other vehicles besides Tesla, they have OEMs or companies make the parts for them rather than in-house, so it's harder to update things, or if you have a recall, it can take a lot harder to fix. Like Tesla can do firmware updates and push out recalls or push out improvements in a matter of days, while a lot of other manufacturers, it can take months, sometimes close to a year, to fix recalls or fix issues or bugs with their vehicle. That's the thing, is that a lot of automotive manufacturers, they're great at making the hardware, but now we're in the age of cars with software, just like phones. With a Moto Razor, you didn't really have a operating system, you didn't have cameras and apps and stuff like that. It just had to make a phone call when you dialed it, or maybe I had to send a text message. But now, these cars are like computers on wheels, and we're finding that that's the Achilles heel for a lot of auto manufacturers, that they have it's great. They do a great job, building the hardware, building the nuts and bolts, the metal, the body panels, putting it together. But the actual software that powers the vehicle and powers the infotainment system, that is a completely different story. That's why with smartphones, we don't see 10 different operating systems from Motorola or Nokia. It's either iOS or Android. Everyone else waved the white flag and didn't want to compete with Apple, so they just adopted a Android operating system. And that's the direction we're seeing with cars. Tesla has an amazing infotainment system. It's almost like it was developed by Apple. It's very intuitive. It works really nice. It's the best in the business, and I've tried a lot of automotive infotainment systems, messed around with a lot of automotive software, and Tesla just takes the cake. And we're not even talking about the smartphone app. The smartphone app is pretty amazing too, because you can remotely unlock the vehicle, you can remotely start the vehicle, you can preheat the vehicle, you can pull up live cameras and look around your vehicle, inside your vehicle, outside the vehicle. You can pull up recordings. This has a 360 dash cam that's constantly using the cameras. We're inside, so it's flickering a little bit. It doesn't look like this outside, but this car has 8 cameras around it, constantly recording things. And people have seen these cameras as a godsend. They saved them from responsibility in accidents, proving that they weren't at fault. People have gotten out of people have gotten out of tickets that were issued to them for things that they didn't really do. Cameras don't lie. I had a situation where I was, having lunch, and I went to my car, and someone came out from the store and said, "Someone hit my car. Can you see if you can pull it up on your Tesla cam?" He had a brand new, beautiful WRX, and someone sideswiped it. So look at this footage. I was able to pull it up on my camera. And that person has all the information in that car, and he was very much appreciative. So you can see that's just the tip of the iceberg of this amazingness of the dash cam, and that's just a drop in the bucket of all the stuff you can do with this vehicle. Tesla has an amazing driver's assistance software called Autopilot, which allows the vehicle to brake, accelerate, and steer in its own lane. It doesn't just work on the highway, it works on regular roads too, just as long as it can read the lane markings in the road. I use it all the time. It's amazing. And if you drive and stop and go traffic, especially on the highway, this will be a godsend. It really takes a big weight off your shoulders. You don't really realize how much mental energy it takes to keep a vehicle centered in its lane on the highway. And for the vehicle to take that workload off of you, I mean, you still need to pay attention, but it really takes a big mental workload off of you. You can kind of relax a little bit, look around a little bit, because this car has 8 cameras around it, constantly monitoring the situation, never getting distracted. We get distracted. We look at things, we mess with our phone when we shouldn't, we spill our coffee, we argue with our spouses or our kids, so this autopilot and driver's assistance system is just a whole level of safety that will help protect you. So this one doesn't have premium connectivity activated. It's $10 a month, allows you to stream internet into the vehicle. So once you do that, you can, you can't do this while you're driving, but you can stream like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Maybe you're waiting in line for the ferry. Maybe you're at a charger waiting for the vehicle to charge. This is amazing to help pass the time away. You can also play video games. And you can also get like a Bluetooth like Xbox style controller and play games with that too. Some games you can drive the car. Unlike this game, you can drive the car with the actual steering wheel and brake and gas and accelerator pedal on this Tesla. Pretty cool. Then we have the toy box. You can have a vehicle play a light show. We have the silly whoopee cushion. We have a colorizer, so if you end up getting a wrap in your vehicle, you can have your avatar match the color of the wrap. I mean, there's no other vehicles that have a level of depth to their infotainment systems that this Tesla has. Nobody. Believe me, I've been in the car business for 30 years. I've seen it all. You have a megaphone, which allows you to change the sound of the horn. You can make it sound like a goat or a fart. Maybe you're having a picnic. You can play music through the horn if you want a little bit ambient music. You want to cut an album? You can. You have a multi-track recorder built in here. I can go on and on. I have a tendency of rambling on about these cars, I'm sorry, but they're just so different. There's just so much to talk about versus other vehicles. And don't get me wrong, it's not, I'm like, I just like Teslas and I hate everything else. I'm an automotive enthusiast. I've been in the car business, I'm almost 45. I've been in the car business since I was 15. I love cars. I love V8 engines, manual transmissions. I love all sorts of things. I love diesel trucks. There are all sorts of amazing cars out there, but these are special. They're different. It's like an automotive breath of fresh air. And for a lot of people, the efficiency, the safety of a Tesla the low ownership costs is a compelling choice, especially if you're in a tight budget. So normally, you'd have drive shafts, gas tanks, exhaust systems going through the floor, but since this is an EV, it's completely flat, allowing for more interior space. I'm 6'2". I've got plenty of headroom. I had that front seat adjusted for my height. Plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom back here. Very comfortable. These glass roof panels also benefit the rear seat passengers, allowing more ambient light inside, just kind of elevating your mood. The weight of the battery is low down in the vehicle, so it's like a keel anchor keeping it planted to the ground. It improves the handling, very little body roll, and it makes it very hard to roll over. This is one of the lowest rollover risks out of any vehicle on the road because of the weight of the battery. When the Model 3 first came out, when the NHTSA first tested it, it was one of the safest vehicles they ever tested, pretty much by every metric. Lots of space back here. And since we don't have a gas tank, we don't have an exhaust system, we have even more storage. And also for 2021, they added a power rear trunk. Another improvement. Also another improvement for 2021 is you get a new headlight design, or these nice projector headlights. And then on top of that, they added the Tesla acoustic glass. If you look at this glass, it's 2 pieces of glass with a sound deadening material sandwiched in between. It makes it a lot quieter. Much quieter. So the jury is out. What's one of the lowest vehicles to own over a 10-year period? It's a Model 3. Don't take my word for it, do some research. The ownership cost over 10 years is about $5,000, a little under it, versus some of the most highest ownership costs like a Range Rover or Porsche is like $15,000, $16,000. This is considered a premium luxury sedan. You wouldn't compare this to like a Nissan Altima. By the features, the fit and finish, and price point when this was new, you'd compare this to like a BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, a Lexus. So it's quite amazing. And you know, the reason why the ownership costs are so low in these things is because there's not that much to service. A battery and electric motors is very simple. It's far simpler than an internal combustion engine that has thousands of moving parts. It doesn't need oil changes, doesn't need induction services, transmission flushes, coolant flushes. With regenerative braking, the brakes are going to last 100, 150,000 miles. So it's very low ownership costs. You know, pretty much you're going to rotate the tires if you want your tires to last long. You're going to have to replace wiper blades. You're going to have to replace cabin filters. And it's not that expensive. In fact, Tesla has mobile service. So if I need a new cabin filter, which is like $60, or wiper blades, which is like, you know, $70, $80, for that cost, I don't need to go to the dealership. Tesla will send a mobile repair person, a mobile service person out to my home or to my work. I work at a car dealership. They'll send a mobile repair person to the car dealership I work at to replace these things for, you know, not that much money. I don't even know how it's profitable for Tesla to do that, but somehow, you know, they make it work. So that's my long-winded spiel. 2021 Tesla Model 3. You know, ignore the hate. You're not going to get harassed owning one of these things. They're great vehicles. They're very safe. They're wonderful to drive. You know, now is a better time than ever to buy a pre-owned Model 3 or any Tesla because there's so many of them out there. There's so many pre-owned ones that they're fantastic value. You get a lot of bang for your buck with these cars. Performance, features, technology. It's unparalleled by anything else. Thanks for watching and have a great day.